I got that from, I scoured the internet to find the best ones, and this is probably, that one. That's a guide complete in the ESA50. That's probably the best one I could...
I think Benefits and Work is a really good one as well, though, isn't it?
Benefits and Work as a website is very good. I advise people to sign up for that.
Yeah, I'm going to propose that next week.
There's a free one.
That we sign up to Benefits and Work.
So where can you actually, can you download the CDs in the net somewhere?
And they've got a forum and everything.
Yes, or if you email me, I can send you a copy, online copy. But it's up to date. It says May 2017. This is the one that they would use now, either for ESA50 or there's one called the EC50. But it's exactly the same, except where it says ESA50, they've changed it to EC50.
Yeah.
So it's basically the same under the old and new system.
This is the ESA50.
Yes, yeah, it's this one.
It's a thick one.
It's the big one,
yeah.
Thank you.
The good thing about this one, unlike many of the other guys, is that they build in comments and advice inside the form, right next to the relevant questions.
So making it more clear that
What it relates to.
when you write your words.
Well, that's one issue. Yeah. Each like pink box is right next to the questions in the form, whereas a lot of guides you have to keep chopping and changing what does that bit refer to.
Yeah.
Whereas this is all built into the one guide, so this is why it's a particularly good one. I mean, some, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. But some of the key points on this is, I mean, first if you look at say page 1, 2, 3. If you go to the fourth page in on the top of the page where it says evidence, if you have evidence that shows you meet the tests, blah blah blah. This is the form you get. You might help someone filling this in when they're making a claim. So you see there's a lot of things here that says things the Health Assessment Advisory Service would like to see. And they gradually filled out that bit of it over time, which kind of is an indicator that there's gradually, I think, a bit more notice being taken of medical evidence at the earlier stages. And the key issue with work capability assessment is not a medical assessment. It's a symptom of a battle, I'd say, in political battle between DWP and the health services in some way as to who is more fit to judge whether someone can work or not. So if you may be aware, a lot of it started back in even from the days of the miners' strike, where a lot of workers after that period in the mines and industrial injuries became quite ill with industrial illnesses. The factories are closed, so basically the doctors were signing them off on a pretty regular basis as ill because they knew there was probably no work for them anyway, and so on and so on. And then this big shift came around quite a few years ago, partly through Frank Field, and I mean, he's not blameless.
Thatcher.
But Frank Field from Labour, I mean, he was also very wary of people sort of claiming money that they weren't necessarily eligible for. But I mean, that's another debate. But there was a kind of bi-party approach saying, we've got to stop people being worse off out of work than in work. We've got to stop people claiming benefits complacently, thinking they'll get it for life. Blah, blah, blah. So the work capability assessment really came in on the back of that.
But before that,
it's not medical.
Thatcher got everybody stuck on the sick, so that it fiddled the bloody numbers, the statistics of people that were unemployed, wasn't it?
There was certainly. I mean, there were mixed motives certainly, but I mean, certainly there was a Thatcherite move. Like Ian Duncan Smith, obviously with the Architects of Universal Credit. But one key element of the work capability assessment is that it's a kind of a challenge that says to the medical profession, well, we don't really care. We're not so concerned that you as a doctor or whatever GP found someone who's ill, they can still work. So to put it crudely, you might be dying of cancer, but at least you can pick up a pen. And if you can pick up a pen, it means you can write, and so it doesn't matter whether you're ill or not. You see what I mean? Yeah. So and that's why they call it work capability assessment. They can't call it medical because it's not medical. It's based on a behavioural thing of, however ill you are, let's see what you can actually physically do or mentally do.
But you can't get your doctor to write a letter to them saying that you're not well enough to attend. But whether they listen or not is up to them.
Well, so I think that there has been a kind of cat and mouse thing. I think more recently, given as is evidence in this form, there's more and more evidence they ask for to say, well, if you can, not just from a doctor, but maybe from a community psychiatric nurse, a group you're going to, a day centre, anything from a professional that can back up your claim that you're not fit for work is something they are, I think, gradually taking a bit more of account of now. It even talks about doing your own self-assessment journal.
Something that
Can you say we've only got about 15 minutes? So.
But just to say, something they trip you up on, I had experience with someone, is when you have to have the form back by a certain date, and they said that because she had a mental health marker next to her name, because some of her illnesses were to do with mental health, she didn't have to have it back by that date. In fact, she didn't have to have it back at all. They could assess her on her last form, but then they insisted that she had to go to the face-to-face interview, even though she didn't the time before, because she hadn't filled out the form. So it felt like she was getting, something good, but then it turned out to be something bad.
I mean, it's still generally the case that I think the statistics are going back in favour more of the claimant, but it's still generally the case that if you genuinely feel, and your doctors and professional workers support you, feel that you aren't fit for work, you're more likely to get a decision like that agreeing with you at an appeal stage than at the initial stage.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, we'd always urge people to put in as much medical evidence as they can at every stage, because crudely speaking, you have 3 stages. You have the initial ESA50 form. You're then likely to be called in for an assessment. If they find that you are still fit for work, then you have to do a mandatory reconsideration. Then if that upholds the original assessment, which still roughly 70 to 80% uphold the original assessment, then you go to an appeal.
And that's where it gets complicated, because then you've got to claim JSA in the meantime, even though you're not fit for work.
Well, again, that can get complicated, but just to finish that point, that I'd still say, because we have had cases in our groups where people have been given their sickness benefit at the first stage or at the mandatory reconsideration stage without having to get to the appeal stage. So, and that's usually because they have submitted more medical evidence. So I wouldn't sort of just forget that bit. I would say go through those stages. There's an issue. Yeah, if you are on JSA, say, and then let's say it was in Barnet. So if you say come May, universal credit has come in, you're on job seekers allowance, and you fall sick, long-term sick, you are then likely to be asked to be putting in a claim for the universal credit now. It'll be universal credit because you'll be switching over. They will try to switch over to universal credit. So if you've been found under work capability assessment fit for work, they will say we will advise you now to claim universal credit. But you can still say, well, I still think I am sick and I still want to appeal. I don't want to be defined as a job seeker. But then if you don't claim universal credit as a job seeker, then you won't get any money until you've gone through the mandatory reconsideration and launched an appeal. At that stage, if the mandatory reconsideration finds against you, but you lodge an appeal, then they can backdate your money if you keep handing in medical certificates, and then you stay on the lower rate of the ESA until your appeal is heard. I don't know if that makes sense, because we're already feeling we're starting to rush a bit. But it's not the only option. You don't automatically have to become a job seeker under universal credit if the work capability assessment fine tells you to. So even though the leaflet says...
In that Daniel Blake film, that's what happens, isn't it?
It's still generally what people do, because otherwise they would, if they say, well, no, I insist I'm still ill and here's my certificates. As I say, they will still might have to wait several weeks before they get any money, because you'd have to get to an appeal stage before they backdate money as a sick person. Does that make sense?
So you wouldn't get your rent.
You still get the rent element. You still get the rent element paid. But yes, it's well, actually no. No, in fact, no, because no, that would have to be backdated as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, so nothing would come through until.
Yeah. So you'd have nothing basically.
No, so that's why most people would say, well, now I'm being forced to be claiming as a job seeker now, and still putting in the appeal and still handing in your certificates. In those situations, again, most job coaches would hope will be a bit lenient until knowing that they're going through an appeal. But this is again because there's so much discretion now given to coaches.
Right.
As you haven't asked anything,
what would happen if you had a job coach that was rubbish, and you would need to, you might be, if you have the discussion with the job coach, how would you appeal against that?
well, there's separate. You could complain if you feel they're being unreasonable. You can complain to the manager. I think there is a leaflet in there because up in every job centre you should still have this post about minimum DWP standards and how to complain. And there is a page on our website about how to complain. But the usual line is someone will go to the manager. I want another job coach because this person is being unreasonable.
Yeah.
So this is also where it's an advantage sometimes to be. I think we're already. Are you due to come in, sir?
At 2:30?
Yeah.
Oh, you know that?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah. This is also the advantage of building up some connection with the local job centre through one of these groups, I was saying, because it's often then easier if they respect your opinion to actually then get a shift locally than you just doing it on your own. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, if you were taking a witness with you and the job coach was being stroppy, unreasonable, then you've got a witness, and they may be less stroppy because you've got a witness as well.
That's true. Yeah.
But there are independent complaints procedures, but a lot of what we say is about preemptive, isn't it? Being preemptive and trying to engineer a situation where you're getting the most out of your coach and your situation by the supposed tailored approach that they're supposed to be taking for every claimant now. But I mean, I'll just finish. I mean, as I say, if we want to review and have further sessions, then it's something we can talk about if you fancy. If I've got the time, it'd be good if you quickly tick these evaluation sheets before we go, even though it's all been a bit rushed today. Because our funding's coming up for renewal. We may not get it this summer, but we've got to submit what evidence we can to show we're doing things. But I would say even if you feel some of the questions like number C we've just not really covered them sufficiently, then obviously don't have to answer them. Don't make it because we haven't really had time to do the point C justice, but maybe we'll have a look at that. Do you need them? Oh yeah, sorry.
That's yours.
That's the list, yeah, thanks. I'll keep talking, but there are. But yes, have a read of the stuff in the pack, and then if you feel it's worth doing another session, then we can arrange that. Because clearly, I think people's priority was to cover universal credit today.
Yeah. What we do in our meeting, we'll discuss and see what people think of what they'd like to have more of, and then we'll get back to you.
Yeah, and you write them on the sheets as well. Because I've given you a little space at the bottom there.
Okay, so stop this.
Sorry, you can cut.
Yeah, okay, let's cut it. Okay, cut.